Okay guys, I'm gonna try this video yet again to show you how to rationalize the denominator when you have a radical in the denominator. I remember this came up a few weeks back and I told you to just hold off because it would be coming up, okay? So we're gonna be working with it more going forward, but just for the homework problem had a couple in the first section where you had the radicals, right, with your fractions. So I just wanted to go over the proper way to simplify, rationalize the denominator, okay? So for number one here, I have 2 over radical 3. You cannot leave the radical 3 in the denominator. So I'm going to multiply by radical 3 over radical 3, right? Radical 3 over radical 3 is just 1, right? Anything over itself is 1. So I'm really not changing anything. If I multiply it by 1, I'm not changing the value, right? So my numerator, I have 2 times radical 3, so it's 2 radical 3 over. What happens when I multiply a radical times itself? The radicals cancel out, right? I'm squaring the square root. So I'm just left with 3. Or you can look at it like not radical 3 times radical 3 is radical 9, right? Which is 3. So this is the rationalized denominator of that. It's the same exact value, it's just a different version. So here I'm going to multiply by radical 2 over radical 2 because I have the 2 in the denominator, the radical 2. So this is going to give me radical 14, right? Radical 7 times radical 2 is radical 14 over, this is radical 4, which is 2, right? When I multiply these together, the radicals will cancel. So this is that. If this could have been simplified more, then you have to keep breaking it up and simplifying it and then seeing if you could cancel anything out, okay? And then this one here, this is equivalent to, this is radical 11 over radical 5, right? Square root of numerator over the square root of the denominator. So I'm going to multiply this by radical 5 over radical 5. So that gives me a radical 55 over 5. Okay, so this is equivalent to that. All right, so for number 4 on the homework, I had somebody ask me about that. This is number 4 on the homework. So let's solve this one. I'm going to first subtract the 9. So I have 6b squared equals negative 62, right? Then I'm going to divide by 6, right? So I get negative 62 over 6. Okay, and I'm going to simplify this while I'm at it. This is equivalent to negative 31 over 3. Right, so I have b squared equals negative 31 over 3. And now I want to take the square root, right? I square root both sides. So I have b equals positive or negative square root of negative 31 over 3. Okay, now as soon as I see this under here, I know I'm going to have the I in my answer. Okay, so this is positive or negative. I'm going to take out the I, and this is the square root of 31 over the square root of 3. Okay, so now I need to rationalize this. So I'm going to multiply by radical 3 over radical 3. So what does that give me? Radical 93 over 3. So this is the equivalent of that. So my final answer, I'll write it up here, is v equals positive or negative. Don't forget that this I is here. I radical 93 over 3. Positive I radical 93 over 3, negative I radical 93 over 3. All right, so I hope that helped. We will continue to discuss more later.